Alrighty, so just in the sauna here, and I want to talk to you about task management in business. So I work with an agency, and I see a lot of behind the scenes of 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. And one thing that becomes very apparent is task management. Okay, now there's obviously a ton of task management tools. I highly suggest you look into those, start iterating and start utilizing them. But then there becomes the fine line of how much AI are we actually going to be using to efficiently, that is the word, efficiently, be able to excel our time, our speed, our productivity with the help of AI, but without creating a flurry of pretty much a bunch of junk. All right, now I've said this before, but basically, you need to be able to understand what you should be automating. You need to be understand the processes. You need to be, understanding kind of what's behind the hood of the car, so to speak, because not everything needs to be automated. And right now, what I'm seeing with a lot of these business owners, they're trying to automate everything. And like the common thing goes, when you try to do everything, you actually do nothing. All right, so when you're trying to automate everything, you're actually automating nothing. And again, it's just more junk. And so when you're trying to increase productivity, you have to be careful that it's not all just smoke and mirrors. And again, like I've said, yes, you can automate your inbox. I say that's a phenomenal way you could do it. Because let's be honest, everyone's getting emailed 50 to 100 times a day. And so it is a great use of your time, actually stepping back. And that's key. All right, that is key. Let me say that again. You need to be able to step back. And a lot of these business owners, unfortunately, they don't have the time to be able to actually work on the business, rather they're working in the business. And that creates a lot more complexity because you can't really see from a bird's eye view where the bottlenecks are. Because usually, let's be honest, with a lot of these businesses I am seeing, there's a ton of bottlenecks. And so it's basically one problem at a time, one challenge at a time. And so if you're thinking, a kind of a very low level implementation of AI would just be, if you're having all these emails and, a lot of business owners, they check their emails, I think it's about once or twice a day, I think the stats show, and you're getting a ton of emails. Well, you want to be able to filter out, number one, good emails from the bad emails, and if it's just complete spam, because you are wasting precious time, right? Again, right now in current society, you're being robbed of two important things: your time, more importantly, your focus. And so task management is super important. And if you're going to create a business or you're trying to run a lean team, which yes, AI does allow you to do that, or at least it helps you move forward in that direction, you have to be careful what you're automating, because sometimes what you think is going to happen rarely occurs. All right. And it's super important to understand that and to see that from a mile away, right? You got to kind of read the play, right? Like for instance, a lot of business owners, they've tried other things. And so they realize, okay, maybe this thing I'm looking for, trying to do, will not work because I have all these reference points, right? So it's super important. So again, when it comes to automating, I need you to really think, will this help? And by all means, please try it out. Build it out, use N8N, use maybe Claude Code, Cursor 2.0 just came out. But when it comes to AI, a lot of it's just smoke and mirrors right now. So to be a consultant, to come in and see, okay, that's actually not going to work. That's not going to move the needle. Rather, just having a manual individual or individual manually doing it is probably going to save you more time. Because then, again, it becomes a flurry of notifications. It becomes a flurry of complexity. And you have all your employees or people helping you complete the task running around. And they're actually not complete. It's not as efficient as you once thought it was. A lot of business owners will just implement it and kind of step away. And if they see maybe, marginal return, they'll be like, okay, it's working. But over time, those tasks tend to be diluted. Okay? You start to dilute everything because now we have so many tasks. And again, if you're automating everything, you're pretty much automating nothing. It's all these notifications. Right? And again, you have to protect, as a business owner, you have to protect your time and focus. That's why Alex Hormozi, for instance, he blocks out basically 9 to 12. There's no meetings in the morning because for him, right? For him, he gets his focus, he gets his drive in the morning, and he's able to basically bulldoze through all these problems. Now, if you said Alex, right? If you go, Alex, instead of 9 to 12, how about you do 5 to 8 or whatever? How about you do 6 p.m. you start moving the needle of your business? He goes, dude, that's just not possible. Dude, I can't. By that time, you're exhausted. By that time, your bandwidth is gone. And that's one thing I need you to protect is your bandwidth and focus. So Alex Mosey goes, if you're trying to move the needle of your business for 4 hours, you're going to work on one thing for 4 hours. And usually that is in the morning. That's why you have all these entrepreneurs waking up early in the morning because they don't have a flurry of notifications or fires they have to put out just yet, right? Super, super important. So when it comes to task management, I need you to understand what to automate and what not to automate. And if you're wondering, well, there's all these automations and everyone and their grandmother right now is about posting, okay, including myself, posting about things you can automate. You have to really step back and say, okay, if I actually do build this, will this thing convert? Will this actually move the needle? Or is it just I'm kind of running in circles and nothing really is getting done, right? So again, emails should be the first thing. Whatever you find yourself doing in the morning, all right? So whether that's email, whether that's talking to individuals, whether that's just frivolous conversation via DMs, Google Meets or whatever, Slack, whatever. Automate those things. Because right now what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your time and focus back. So whatever you're doing, automate your emails, probably a big one. And you can actually filter out the good from the bad. I think that's valuable. That's a valuable resource. And then there's other tasks you can do as well. And just start slowly implementing it. Or you can obviously use the help of other people who know. But when it comes to task management, I'm just telling you because I see it. I see it quite a lot. You have to be careful what you're automating. And you want to use AI to your beneficial, not to your detriment, okay? And let's be honest, it starts costing a lot because you have all these tokens you're paying for, you have all these keys, API keys you're paying for, and eventually you're like, we're bleeding money here. And all these business owners, I'm telling you, because there's so much to be done that they don't understand what is being basically lost. Okay, and so that is super important. So I'll end off with this. When it comes to AI, understand what you need to be automating, understand really what's not going to move the needle, and I'll still have maybe a VA, I'll still have a human in the loop, and then eventually start hopefully creating better processes, better systems, sure, with the use of AI, but don't fully rely on, don't have it 80-20 AI human, maybe have it 80 human, and then maybe 20% AI. Because we're not there just yet. But be careful with task management. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.